All right. So, Marshall and Carol, you guys should be able to hear me. Um, I was going to say if you can't hear me, tell me in the chat, but if you can't hear me, you wouldn't know to do that. If you can hear me, go ahead and type in the chat that you are able to hear me. And then I will go back to that PowerPoint screen. All right, so this is the next audio test. If you are able to hear me, go ahead and just type in the chat so that way I know, and we will go from there. All right, let's see. Share. Perfect. Okay, can everybody hear me? Fantastic. So my name is Haley. I'm the technology librarian here at Bemis. We might have a couple more people coming in. So Carol, I'm gonna have you, Carol, Library Carol, keep an eye and just see if we get anybody else. So like I was saying, my name is Haley Baker. I am the technology librarian at Bemis. This is the first virtual technology class that we are offering. So you guys are kind of our guinea pigs to see what's working, what we might need to adjust and things like that. So please bear with us. Your patience is appreciated. Yeah, and the other thing is we are recording this. Hopefully we will be able to post this on our technology guide page so that way people can keep accessing this. So just a heads up, you are being recorded. If you have issues with that, send me an email afterwards and we'll go from there. So yes, Carol Rimple is also here. I don't know if this does anything for other people. I'm like pinning the video. But Carol helps me out with technology classes, one-on-ones and stuff like that. So she's going to be monitoring the chat today for any questions that we may have coming in. Carol, I unmuted you if you want to say hello.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you.
So I will share my screen with you guys so that way everything that I talk about with Facebook, you'll be able to see what that actually looks like in practice. And then once the class is finished, I will email everybody the handout. So that way everything that we covered today will be covered step by step in that handout as well. And then you also have my email address, both from the handout that I'll send you and then from the confirmation. So if you have any questions at all, go ahead and send me an email. All right, so just to kind of go over what we're going to cover today, we're going to go over creating a Facebook account. If you already have one, that's fine. You can just kind of tune out that part. We'll go over adding or changing a profile picture, adding friends, liking different pages, reacting to posts, which includes liking, commenting, and sharing. How to post your own status updates, how to post pictures, editing and deleting posts. So if you made a mistake or you need to get rid of something, checking your notifications, and then probably most importantly, looking at our security settings. All right, so let me share my screen. All right. So Facebook is a social network. It hosts a community of users, so that way those users can connect with each other. It enables its users to share experiences and opinions with one another, allowing these users to stay connected with friends and family, no matter where they're located. So I always put out the example, I'm originally from Virginia. Most of my family is still there, but I have a brother in Tennessee, an aunt and uncle that are overseas, and my sister's in North Carolina. Being connected on Facebook allows us to share, talk to, and engage with each other, even though we are thousands of miles apart. The goal with any social media site is to build a network. So on Facebook, this network is of friends that have mutually decided to connect with each other. In order to access anything that Facebook has, you have to create a free account. There's only 2 requirements for a Facebook account. The first is that you have to have an email address. And the second is that you have to be over 13 years old. The information you enter on this page here should be accurate, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So I say that because a lot of times people are hesitant about putting their real first name, real last name, real birth date, things like that on the internet. So as long as you put in your birthday as before 2007, you can put in whatever birthday you want. It does not have to be your real one. And you are allowed to put nicknames, but Facebook kind of has gotten a little more strict about that. So for example, I have a friend whose last name really is Smiley. And she had to like contact Facebook and get permission to have her last name be on Facebook as Smiley because they didn't think it was a real class or a real name, excuse me. So if you wanted to register, you input your first name, your last name. It asks for mobile number or email. I'm always hesitant to offer my mobile number up to social media sites. So I prefer to do email address. But that's up to you. If you feel like you have more regular access to your, phone, so you can go ahead and put that in there. Then you're creating a password. So this is not the same password you're using to log into your email. This is a password you are making that should be totally separate from everything else, just for Facebook. And then, like I said, as long as you were born before 2007, you can have that. I was not born in 2001, but let's say I was. And then you just click sign up. Once you do that, it might ask you to confirm it before you're able to log in. So what that would mean, if you used a mobile number, you would have to get that phone number. They would have texted you a code. You have to enter that code. If you put in an email, you'll have to check your email and click that verification. Just that way they know it's really a person and not a robot. I already have an account, so I'm going to log into it. So up at the very top, you can log in. Perfect. All right. So let me give you a basic overview of what and where everything is on the Facebook page. So up along the top of your screen, you have this blue bar. This is your toolbar. As long as you're on the Facebook website, you should be able to see that toolbar at the very top of the screen. In the search box, you can search for people, groups, or events. Clicking on your name takes you to your profile page. Clicking home takes you to your home page, which is pretty much what we're looking at right now. Find friends might not always be there. After you've added what Facebook deems as enough friends, it'll stop suggesting that you add more. This profile that we're looking at right now only has one friend, so that's why it still has this here. But if you already had a Facebook account, you may not see this find friends option. Let you create groups and pages and stuff like that. We're not going to go over that today, but it's for groups and pages. The people icon is the friend request button. So if you are receiving requests from other people, you will see those requests here. The speech bubble is messages. So people can send you private messages on Facebook and you'll see those there. And the bell is notifications. For any one of these three, when the icon itself is white and has this little red square in the corner, it means you have a new notification. So whether that's a friend request, a message, or an actual notification, that's what it'll look like. I love to point out this question mark. The question mark is your quick help button. When you click on it, it gives you help about the specific page that you're on. So we're on the home page. You can get help with the timeline or chat, etc. or I can search for something that I might need help with. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot remember how to change my profile picture, I can type that in and then I can look at how to change it. And then this down caret icon on the far right has your options. So it has your settings, log out, and Facebook is also doing this thing where they're trying to change the look of Facebook. My cat just jumped up on the table. Oh. So if you are on Facebook and it looks weird or it looks different, you can switch back to the old Facebook from this down caret. And then there's also your log out button there. So then your left side menu is only visible when you are on the home page. So this gives you access to things like sorting your newsfeed, messages, events, groups, and more. The more you engage with Facebook, the more you'll see on this side here. So if I look at my, oops, I don't have it pulled up. So if I look at my personal Facebook page, you can see I have a lot more stuff on this page than I did on this training profile. So the more you use Facebook, the more you'll see. Up at the top here, you'll also see your publisher box. So this is where it says create post. It lets you add status updates, photos, videos, share links, and do all kinds of more. Clicking in the box where it says what's on your mind lets you actually create a post, and we'll go into that a little more. And then we're going to come into the newsfeed next, but I wanted to pause for questions. Carol, do we?
No, there have not been any questions put in the chat box.
Perfect. If you all do have questions, go ahead and just type them in and Carol will relay them to me as I'm going through.
Is everybody able to access the chat box?
Good question. All right, I'm going to keep going. You have my email if you need me to clarify anything and you can't get to chat.
Haley, we did get one now from Carol. Okay. Is the homepage sometimes called the news feed?
Yes. So really what it is that the news feed is part of the home page, but yes, those words are definitely interchangeable.
Okay, I think that's all for now.
Perfect. That is a great segue because that's what we're going to talk about next. So when you log on to Facebook, this is the screen you're going to see. So I call it the home page, but we just kind of talked about how the fact that Newsfeed works almost interchangeably for it. You can always get back to this screen by clicking on home at the top in that toolbar. So if you have like gone down a rabbit hole, you've clicked and clicked and clicked and you don't know where you are, clicking on this home button gets you back to this familiar page. The home page is where honestly you're going to spend most of your time on Facebook. In the center of this screen, you do see your news feed. So this is where any posts, friends activities, things like that will show up here. Right now, there's not a ton in this news feed that I'm showing you because I only have the one friend. But if we look at my Facebook, you'll see that there's all kinds of more information, more content here. So like I was saying, you have this left-hand menu that expands as you do more. It'll hold groups, any groups that you join. If you play any games on Facebook, you'll be able to see them there. Events, if there's an event you're interested in. Right now, they also have some COVID-19 information, so you can access that all right from that left side menu. On the right-hand side, there's all kinds of different things. Generally, what you're seeing are advertisements. Sometimes you might see something that's trending. You may see stories, but most of what you're seeing that's on the right-hand side is going to be an advertisement. And then down towards the bottom, if your screen is a little bit wider than mine, you might see this come up along the left-hand side, but this is your chat. So if you wanted to send a private message to somebody, you can get to it here. Are there any questions about what I have just gone through?
No questions are coming through.
Perfect. All right, so let's talk about adding friends. So a friend on Facebook is any Facebook member who has mutually agreed to connect with you. And that word mutually is the most important part about this Facebook connection, because you can only be friends with somebody if you both agree that you want to connect. So I can't say right now, Carol and I are going to be friends. End of story. What has to happen is I have to say, Carol, I want to be friends with you. And then Carol has to say, yeah, okay, I also want to be friends with you. Once we've both said that, that's when we become friends. It's important to remember that when you add people to your Facebook friends list, they see everything that you post, just as you see everything that they post. So if I'm going to add Carol as a friend, I probably don't want to add a status talking about how crazy Carol is. So you just kind of want to keep that in mind. Adding friends or liking pages gives you content to look at when you log on. So kind of the beauty and sometimes the downfall of social media is that you can curate the exact content that you want to see. You can fill your feed with close friends, colleagues, or you can just follow celebrities, news organizations, sports teams, anything that you want. But you're only going to see that content if you go out and find it. So that's what we're going to look at. So I'm going to start by clicking on this Find Friends button. And that's going to take me to this Friends page. If you don't have that Find Friends button, if you click on the Friends icon and then say Find Friends, it'll take you to this same page. So this is suggestions of friends, and it gives you these from a variety of different ways. Because I've added my personal page as a friend, it's suggesting a bunch of things that it thinks I should be friends with because Haley Baker is friends with them. It can also give suggestions if you add your hometown or where you went to college or where you went to high school. It might give you friend suggestions based on those kinds of things. But if you don't see anybody that you want, or you're looking for a specific person, we can just search for them. So if there's somebody I'm looking for specifically, I can search for them at the very top of my screen. I'm going to type in first and last name. You can kind of see there's some suggestions. This one added a state, but let's just see. And there we go. So I can see this is the person I'm looking for because this is that one mutual friend is me. So I can see that this is who I want. If I wanted to add a friend, I would just click on this button here, this add friend. If that's not quite who you're looking for, we can narrow it down a little bit. You can click on people from this tab up here. And then you can choose, all right, so we know they're living in Denver. Let's search Denver. Perfect. Okay, so now there's only one person with this name living in Denver. So that would be the person that I want. So there's other things you can narrow it down by. So if you're looking for somebody you went to school with, you could see if they added the school. Let's see, is it gonna let me search? It might be giving me a hard time since I've added. They probably don't have that listed. So that's, if they don't have that thing listed on their profile, you won't be able to find them that way. But then you can also search for work. So there's a couple different ways that you can search for people. So you can also receive friend requests. So if Carol was like, I work with Haley, I want to be her friend on Facebook, she could search for me and send me a request. Like I was saying, those requests show up under this person icon, and I still have to say that I want to be friends with them. So this is my personal page. And these are some people that have asked me to be friends with them that I haven't accepted yet. So this is what it shows up, comes up as confirm or delete. You don't have to accept friend requests that come your way. If you say delete, that person is not going to be given a notification. They're not going to be told that you didn't accept their friend request. They just won't be added as your friend. So I can delete those. And then if it is somebody who is spam, you can mark them as spam and they're not going to be able to send you any additional requests. So like I said, you don't have to accept any friend request that comes your way. You can leave it sitting there for the rest of time. You can just ignore it. You can decline it if you just really don't want to be friends with that person, and things like that. So you don't have to accept every request that comes your way. Are there any questions about friends?
There are no questions in the chat box.
Perfect. So you can also search for different organizations, famous people, things like that. So you're not necessarily going to be friends with these groups, but you can follow them and see any updates that they post. So I could search for Bemis Public Library. And when I click into that, I get this option to like them or to follow them. And so what that does is it means I will see any updates that Bemis posts in my newsfeed. It doesn't have to be the library. You could search for like Channel 9 News. I think they have it like listed as Denver, or actual our Channel 9. I think it's 9 News Denver. 9 News. You can search for musicians. Nathaniel Rateliff, he's one of my favorites, so I can find them. I can like him. So the different things like that. So like I said, you can really curate the content you want to see. If that content that you want to see is cute cats, do a search for that. And then there's all kinds of groups, pages, things like that, that I can just, all right, now I'm going to find lots of cute cat pics and videos on my page. So like when I said you can curate the content you want to see, you really can curate the exact content that you want to see. All right, so the next thing we're going to look at is our profile. So you can get to your profile from this top toolbar by clicking on your name. And when you have your name there, you can change your profile picture, you can change your cover photo, things like that. Adding a profile picture can help people identify you, but that photo doesn't have to be of yourself. Some people choose to have photos of objects, their pets, or even cartoons. For a long time, my personal profile picture was of some words. So this was my profile picture for a very long time. So just because it says profile picture doesn't mean it has to be a photo of yourself. To add a photo, you go to your profile. You're going to click on add photo. Then you get some options. You can add a photo that you've already uploaded, or I can upload a new one from my computer. I have like 1 million pictures downloaded. Let's see. Select that photo. It's gonna work on uploading, and then you have to create your like thumbnail. So I can zoom in if I was far away or zoom further out. And then I just click save. And that sets my profile picture. It is important to remember that your profile picture is visible to everyone, not only your friends. If you're not comfortable putting your face out there, don't do it, because anybody on Facebook can see that picture. You can change your profile picture as often or as not as you'd like. You can leave it as the same picture for forever, or you can change it every day. It does not matter. You can also add a cover photo, and this just acts like a header image to your profile. So they're kind of saying here, it could be from a recent trip, something you're proud of. It works the same way. Mine is this picture of my fiance and I at Mesa Verde. Are there any questions about profile pictures or cover photos? Perfect.
Nope, no questions.
All right. So I'm going to come back to the news feed. I'm going to click on home up here at the very top. And we're going to spend our time in the news feed itself now. So like I said before, the news feed is a conglomerate of all of your friends and your likes and everything that those people are sharing. Whenever somebody posts something, whether it's a status or a photo or a link, it's going to appear in your news feed. Your newsfeed displays top stories by default. And what that means is you're not looking at things in chronological order. You're looking at things that are deemed important by some Facebook algorithm. So I think this might be in chronological order right now, but let's do this. So like this is a post from 5 hours ago, whereas this is a post from 3 hours ago. So in theory, those should be swapped because it's not in the right order there. You can do that from this homepage. If you go to Newsfeed, there's 3 dots. Click on that and you choose most recent. It's a personal preference which one you use, but I will say if you want to view most recent stories, you will always have to switch it to most recent because Facebook will always switch it back to top stories instead. If there's something on your newsfeed that you don't like, you no longer want to see, you can hide that post. So if this is something I don't want to see anymore, I can click on the 3 dots that are in the top right corner, and I can say hide post. And what that does is it tells Facebook, not interested in this, please stop showing me posts like this. And when you're on that top stories, that Facebook algorithm will show posts like that further down. So you'll have to scroll a lot longer before you see them. You can also unfollow or snooze that person. So if you're like, good golly, this Haley Baker girl just will not stop posting things, I can unfollow them. And what that does is it allows you to stay friends with that person. So you're still Facebook friends. You can still send private messages. If you needed to see their posts, you would still be able to. But you're not going to see those things in your news feed. I find this to be fantastic during election season in particular. So that's unfollow. You can also snooze a person, which just means, all right, like Haley is posting way too much right now. Let's get rid of her for 30 days. And then I don't have to remember to refollow or change that setting later on. Facebook will do it for me after a month. So those are some great options. So that way, especially if it's a family member, you know, you're going to cause drama. If you unfriend them, you can just unfollow them. Are there any questions?
We do have one from Carol.
Okay.
How do you get the pretty backgrounds?
Yeah, so we'll talk about that when we talk about posting. So give me just a few more minutes and then we will talk about that.
I think that's all.
Perfect. All right. So the whole point of Facebook is to interact with your friends and connections. So putting the social in social media. On Facebook, you can react to posts, comment on them, and even share them to your own Facebook page. It is important to remember that anybody who looks at a post can see your reactions and comments. So I am not friends with Julie Baker, Linda Saunders, etc., but I can see their posts and I can see who liked and reacted to this particular post. So that's important to remember. When you like, react, comment on a post, anybody can see what you have said. So I just always like to make sure that that is very clear. When you react to a post, you're telling people how you feel about it. And there's several different reactions you can choose from. So you probably know the phrase like, I'm liking something on Facebook. But Facebook has added lots of different reactions instead of just the like. So below each post, there's a button that says like. And if you hover over top of it, so I haven't clicked, I've just placed my mouse on top of it, I can see all of those different reactions. So this one is like. It's a virtual thumbs up, general approval or acknowledgement. This is the first Facebook reaction. For a very long time, it was the only one that they had. You can also love. So this is a red heart, extreme approval, affection, you're sending somebody love, things like that. The one right next to that is care. This one was just added in the last like 2 or 3 weeks as a response to everybody being stuck at home. So it's a hugging heart. So you're sending thoughts of love, you're caring for somebody, things like that. You also have haha, which is the laughing face. Obviously something in that post is funny. Wow, which is that wide-eyed emoji. You're shocked or impressed, something is mind-blowing. Sad is the crying emoji. So it's the opposite of like. So for a long time, when Facebook only had like, it was hard if somebody shared a post talking about their grandfather passing away, and all you could do was like it. So now you have the option to also be sad about it too. And then there's angry. So it's that red anger face. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. To choose one, all you have to do is click on it. And then it shows you what you have chosen below that post. So before it was an empty thumbs up with the word like. Now I have a filled in heart with the word love. If I need to undo it, so I accidentally liked something I didn't mean to, I just click on it again and it takes it away. I can then change my post. So if I had love and then I'm like, you know what, haha would be better. I can just click on the one that I need and change it. And then unclicking takes it away. You can also comment on a post to say exactly what you're feeling about it. So you should have this button that says comment. You can click on that, or at the very bottom, it has a little box where you can say write a comment, and you can click on that. They both do the same thing, so whichever one you want. And then I just type in my comment, and then I press enter on my keyboard, and it sends it. So the same way that we could unlike posts, we can delete comments if we need to. If I hover over my comment, I'll see some 3 dots appear to the right-hand side. Click on those, and then I have the choice to edit or delete it. So if I just spelled something wrong, I spelled that's wrong, or I forgot my exclamation point, I can click on edit. I can make some changes, press enter, and it saves those changes. Or I can delete it, and now it's gone. You can also share posts to your own timeline. the thing about sharing posts is the person's privacy settings have to be set in a way that you are able to share it. So most of the time when you're sharing from a page, not a person. But when you're able to share, there is this little share button. And then I have some choices. Share now just shares the post as it is. Share ... lets me add my own comment to it. And then I can post it. Send as a message. So if I just wanted to share it with one specific person, or to share on a friend's timeline. So if I wanted to show everybody, but make sure that one specific person knew about it. Are there any questions?
No questions have come up.
All right. So Carol, now we'll talk about how you can get those pretty backgrounds. So while you can spend your whole time on Facebook liking, reacting, and sharing other people's posts, you can also create your own. So every post that you make is broadcast to everybody on your friends list and displayed in their news feeds. So keep that in mind. But a post,
Haley,
yeah.
There was a question that came up.
Okay.
Is there a way to share with someone not on Facebook?
So kind of. It's not from that share button. Let's do this one. So say this was a really cool video I wanted my dad to see because he loves gardening. My dad doesn't have Facebook. At the top of this page, there are 3 dots. And then there's a copy link button. And what that does is that puts that link on your clipboard. And then I would go to my email or wherever it was that I was trying to share it and paste that in. And then he would be able to click on that link and see that specific post. Does that answer that question?
It looks like it.
Perfect. So when you are creating your own post, it can be lots of different things. It can be a quick status update where you only share words. You can add photos, videos, links to websites, all kinds of things. We're going to kind of go over these. So when you want to make a status update, from the top of your newsfeed, so you might have to scroll all the way back up if you've been scrolling on Facebook a while, but at the very top, we have this publisher box. When you click in there, it expands. So if I just wanted to do a simple text post, I can just type it in. Then I can just say post when I'm ready to go. And then there it is, Haley Bemis, just now, this is a practice post. But there's a lot of other things you can do too. So when talking about how I got those colorful backgrounds, once you're in that post page, there is a small, it's like tiny rainbow with some A's. When you click on that, you can see all of their different backgrounds that you can use. The thing with these is you can only have like a small amount of text in there. Like if I type too much, it won't keep the cool background. So I'm going to copy and paste this little bit so I can show you. So that's too much, so it won't let me keep the background. And then if I get rid of it, it'll bring it back up. So if it goes too long, you can't use the cool background. So you kind of have to use those for things that are short and sweet. But so again, let me close out of this so I can show you how I got to it one more time. Can I do this? Yeah. So when I clicked in the box, in the left-hand corner, there's a little rainbow with an A. And then I clicked on these 9 squares to show me all of their options. And then you can just type your post in. So if there are some other things that you wanted to add, you can get those from right below here as well. So I'm going to click on these three dots just so I can show you what all of these choices are. Photo video lets you add a photo or a video to your post. Oh, I thought I had better pictures than that. So I just select it from wherever it may be saved on my computer. I can type something if I want to, and then when I post it, now that post has an image below it. If you had multiple images, it would show up a little bit differently. Let me see if I can find one. I might not be able to today. Doesn't look like it, but basically it shows up in a grid, and then in the bottom right-hand corner of that grid, it'll say plus 25 or plus 3, and that tells you how many more pictures are part of that post. So other things you can add, you can tag friends. So if Carol and I went to the park together and I wanted to say, had a great time with Carol at the park, I can say, I'm with, had a great time at the park, tag a friend. I'm not actually friends with Carol, so I can only tag Haley. And so then it says, had a great time at the park with Haley Baker. If I wanted to tag somebody in here, I would use the @ symbol. And then it lets me put it in, and I can delete their last name. Post that. Feeling or activity just lets you add something to it. So if you are posting about, I don't know, your friend just had a baby, and so you are celebrating this special day. When you post it, come on, say Haley Bemis is celebrating this special day, blah, 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 blah. So that was feeling activity. GIFs let you add those moving pictures to your posts. Check in, so if there's a restaurant or a national park or something like that that you're at, you can check in to that. You can also go live on Facebook. I'm sure if you guys are on any social media at all right now, you've seen so many people are going live. So you can do that. You can ask for recommendations, and that just lets you say, hey, I'm traveling to Roanoke, Virginia. Can somebody tell me where the best barbecue is? And then people can recommend places in Roanoke that have good barbecue. There's also a watch party. I've never used that one, so I'm not quite as up on that one. But so it will let you say like, okay, we're all gonna watch this thing together. I'm hosting a watch party. And then support a nonprofit. So if you would like to ask donations for ASPCA or something like that, you can do that here. Take a sip of water. When you're making a post, you are able to choose who can see it. So down here at the bottom, we have a couple choices. Newsfeed is the default. Your story lets you add like a disappearing status post. So it stays visible for 24 hours and then it's gone. I have never posted a story on Facebook, but it is an option if you choose to. You would just click that one and then it would add there. But so like I said, you can choose who sees it. So on this right-hand side, it says friends. And then I have some options here. So public lets anybody on or off of Facebook see that post. Friends means only people that I have agreed to connect with can see this post. Friends accept. So if I am planning a surprise party or something along those lines where I just can't have somebody see this, I would say friends accept, and then I can choose who not to see my post. Now they can't see it. Cancel. Specific friends, so if I only wanted Carol to be able to see this, I could do that, or only me. So you do have some options here. I definitely suggest you don't change your things to public. keep it on friends at the very least. Are there any questions about this part of posting a status?
It looks like everyone's fine.
Perfect. So the same way we were able to edit and delete comments, you can also edit or delete a post. So from these three dots that are in this top right corner of that post, I can choose edit. And then I can say, oh, actually I wasn't with Haley. I was just at the park by myself. And then I can say save. And then now that's what it shows as, had a great time at the park. I can also delete if I need to. So I can just click right here on delete it, delete, and then now it's gone. So you can edit and delete your posts the same way you could edit and delete your comments. All right, so as you start adding content, your own content to Facebook, you'll begin to get notifications. So notifications let you know when people like or comment on the things that you post or share. Notifications appear along this top in the toolbar. If you're on Facebook at that moment, they may also pop up in the bottom of this as a little pop-up window so that we don't have to leave the page you're on to see your notifications. But for the most part, you're going to see them up in this bell. So like I said before, there's three different kinds of notifications. Friend requests. When somebody adds you as a friend, you'll see a notification here. Messages. If somebody sends you a message, let me show you what a message looks like. So I can see here what she was sending just specific to me. And that would show up under the speech bubble. And then the bell is notifications. So this is saying Haley Baker likes your photo. So it tells you what that was. And if I click on it, it takes me to that post in question. And then I can see there, oh yeah, Haley Baker did like my photo. So once you've clicked on a notification, the red button or the red number will disappear and it goes back to its grayed out format. Any questions about notifications?
None are coming up.
Perfect. So the last thing that I want to go over today is security. I'm sure you all saw in the news, however long ago now, I guess it's been a couple years now, Facebook just had a bunch of data breaches and they were tracking weird things. And so I just like to go over how you can be as safe as possible on Facebook. So one of the things we'll look at is our security settings. So this is, I'm going to get to that clicking on this down caret, and then I'm going to click on settings. From settings, we have a couple different options here. So this first one, I can change some of my different, like my name if I needed to, security and login. It's showing you where you're logged in. If I needed to change my password, things like that. But I'm going to come down to privacy. So privacy, it is kind of important to note that privacy affects mostly going forward. It's not changing things that have already been shared. So who can see your future posts? You can change this to just friends. Do I want to review the post that I'm tagged in? Probably. If I don't want everybody to be able to send me friend requests, I can change it from everyone to only friends of friends. So that way I'm only connecting with somebody on Facebook that I already have another connection with. So that friends of friends is a nice one. Who can see your friends list? You can change these things to only me. So that way you're the only one who can see those. Who can look you up using the email or the phone number. You can change those. And then this one's also important, this Do you want search engines outside of Facebook to link to your profile? I suggest turning that to no, but you can set that up yourself. So there's just all kinds of different settings through here. I definitely recommend you going through them as you use Facebook, just so that way you're familiar with what it's tracking, what it does have access to, and that your settings are exactly what you want them to be. You can change these at any time. So just because today I want only friends of friends to send me friend requests doesn't mean tomorrow I can't change it to everyone. Facebook frequently changes their privacy settings. You generally, I'd say 9 times out of 10, get a notification when that happens, when they've updated their terms of use or their privacy settings. They'll send you a notification on Facebook itself or to your email, giving you a heads up. But just once you get that, make sure you come back in here and just make sure everything is still the way you want it to be. The other thing is, don't list your physical address or your mobile number on your profile unless you want everybody to know where you live. So there is an about section on your profile, and Facebook really wants you to add stuff to this. Only add what you really want to add. So like add a mobile phone, add your address, things like that. Only do that if you really, really feel like that's information you want out for anybody to be able to see. So just kind of keep that in mind. I will put, let me get to the chat. I will put something in the chat, a link.
Haley, there's also a question from Marshall about, can 2 Facebook accounts use the same email address?
I don't believe so, Marshall, because they want everything to have, like, they want to ensure that you're a real person. And so part of the way they do that is by making sure that everybody like is their own person. So you can get you could just do like a quick throwaway Gmail address and then have all those emails be forwarded to your current one if you needed another email address to create a second profile. So it doesn't show up as a link in the chat, but I did just chat this Facebook basics. It's a security walkthrough. So it just kind of walks you through all the different things. It's really useful. It's super helpful. So I highly recommend taking a look at it as you are going through your profile. Let me stop sharing. So that is everything that I have. Are there other questions about Facebook, social media, accessing all of this stuff?
Looks like we're good.
Perfect.
You can unmute yourself if you want to ask a verbal question.
Yes, maybe. Let me see if I change that setting. Yes, okay. Yeah, if you want to ask a verbal question now, you should be able to unmute yourself.
I just want to thank you, Haley.
Oh, you are so welcome. I will send out this handout to you guys right now. Like I said, it walks you through everything that I went over. So if you have any issues or you're like, oh, I don't know what she was talking about, what did she say? It has like almost word for word everything that I went over today. But then also you have my email address that way. So if you need to contact me with further questions, please feel free to do so. We are doing more one-on-one classes. Let me share my screen one more time. So we are doing more one-on-one classes and other tech classes further through the month. So if you need one-on-one tech help, we're doing Mondays and Thursdays, 10 to 11 a.m., and then Tuesdays and Fridays, 2 to 3 p.m. And it's a 45-minute long session with some buffer time for technology issues since we are meeting virtually. But you have the choice to meet via Zoom, so via video chat, or just through a phone call if that's easier for you. So you have those, and then we have 3 other classes that we're teaching this month as well. So just a little plug.
Sign up for the classes.
Yes, so let me drop one more link. Stop share. So let me put one more link to the calendar because that'll be the easiest way to get to everything. And it's not, let me make this link a little prettier for you because it is a long, gross link. So it's that bit.ly and then a bunch of random characters. That is our virtual events calendar. So it has all of the technology classes as well as all the other programs we're offering online through the rest of May. If you want that sent to you in an email, just respond to the one that I sent you with the handout, and I'll shoot you the link that way too. Perfect. Thank you guys for being my guinea pigs. I really appreciate it.